Hi everybody. So, as promised, I'm trying a new format still. Forgive the noise. Don't have enough gear. If anybody in Dallas got decent mic, I'll pick it up. But sorry, forgot the phone. So this is the 17th. Welcome to the 17th episode of me trying to exercise. So back to the courtyard a little bit. So the weather here is nice, so although it might rain a little bit, but it's not significant. Let's build it up. It's interesting because there's the little bit of drizzle going on, so all the surface here is a bit slippery, and it presents me with the interesting version. You might notice that my steps are a bit more controlled. So my old trainer, teacher, back in the days when I was doing the other stuff, he always say that so video is one of the best ways to train, because you can stand on ice and kind of train your legs to control better, breathe better, and your steps become more controlled because you're always in danger of doing this. Right, so it's interesting. It's if you've never tried it, try it. Obviously not in the ice, especially, well, I mean, if you're in the climate that does that, it's great, but if you're, even if the regular in a house, try to do it in socks, for example, right? You'll slide on hardwood floors, carpets, you're out of luck. If you go to the bit of pavement, you can put some water in it, just for giggles, or you can get yourself a little bit of a tarp and put it out. play with it. But anyway, it makes a very interesting surface to work on, that's for sure. It's interesting, when I was shooting on the iPhone, right, the vertical picture was always limiting me to the sides. So I'm so used now that you can see me walking back and forth. But going in front is actually shorter now because of the format. I can twist the camera, but anyway, so yesterday I was a little bit short on exercises, so today I will kind of, I mean there is no making up, but so normally Wednesdays, right, much like Fridays, just kind of do the flows. It still ends up being a lot of the workout for the hands and torso because you're trying to, well, I'm trying to not only get back in shape but also get the better control of my muscles and train some weaponry on that. So. And this is the good moment to do the improvisations and just kind of work out the ideas, right? So if I want to see how my attacks will go against, I don't know, well, let's see. We'll start with the mana point, right? So, right one. Like I said, I have two of those thanks to Lana, so, well, she has one and I have one, but she's not really exercising right now, so I can just utilize those. I always have to be careful because they are different in size a little bit. So, if I would do improvisation, right, so I would go attack and retreat, slice, with those, and then I would think, okay, so there's another guy comes out. Swipe the sword, attack, retreat, thrust, another guy, attack. Just keep adding the opponents as you go. And then you retreat. As you retreat, you can see in your mind's eye, if you like, right? There are three guys that are here. You were working on the sides. As you retreat, they all drag in into you. So now they're closer together, and I will do the swipes. Might potentially hit both guys in the same direction. The interesting thing about doing this kind of improvisation is that, or working with the real opponents, if you like, right there. You're lucky enough to have more people in your household, or your friends can come when full mask. Anyway, right now, but then just imagine that. So, if you ever watched the martial arts movies, for example, or kind of actually any multi-opponent ones, right, where you have the bar fights and stuff, you notice that sometimes it looks very weird where, you know, the guy fights against the other and there's two extra folks are staying there waiting, but they're not always waiting. So as you go for this, for example, right, you're attacking this guy, you have to be mindful of what's going on here. So you would drag, you would block, and you would retreat, making sure that this area, even though the opponent is here, is entirely covered. So, and that's where having the flow of the movements always helps, because you can kind of go, okay, done this one and I open myself in. So what they would do, they would probably attack, right? So retreat was a strike, stab, scare them, swipe them down, attack them. Don't. Don't let your imaginary opponents or the real opponents ever be able to kind of build the plan of attack. You have to keep them constantly engaged. If you're imaginary, right? I mean, they're not going to kill you, but there are some occasions when one of them will drag out a mess. Then you concentrate kind of on that guy, trying to overpower and kill one of them, because especially in the group fight with the swords, right, there will be normally, again, in a movie you will see the one-by-one fights. That's actual group fight. Typically, if the three guys going at you like this on all sides, you will not be able, unless you're super fast, super quick, have superpowers and can jump the buildings, you will not be able to defend yourself against everything. What you will be able to do is retreat and cover. Then you regroup and attack back the ones that you could, and that's when it's actually very helpful to be able to not only change angles but also change steps. And also being able to kind of move around a lot. And I am not even the best person to show this. I just learned it from other guys who are much better than me. From back in our days, right? Braun was fantastic at that. I mean, this is the guy who's bigger than me and can cover much more ground and with much more speed. I mean, I wish he lived nearby so we could still spar, but unfortunately he's in Russia and right now everybody's in a lockdown anyway, so couldn't. Here I am doing the videos. so for now, and you can kind of find yourself somewhat favorite moves. I kind of like those, but they don't have to be yours, and even those are not actually properly technically correct probably, but you know, they serve me well and I like them, and in the end of the day, whoever said it, right, in the end of the fight, the only thing that is actually truly matter is who's vertical, who's horizontal. So your technique is great, but technique alone might not necessarily be there for me. Oh, let's get me muggy in here. I'm waiting for the wind. And there's also the kind of, you know, these ones where you kind of done the hit, retreat, opening this, just in the hope that you can catch the person and stab, or the thrust. Right. And then of course, if you were watched, actually if you played video games, you know that sometimes it's beneficial to just go against just one guy. Keep walking at them, except of course in video games, nobody comes and just stabs you in the back all that much. So there's a difference. It's much the same difference as between the driving car in the video game versus the driving the real one. You will very much die if you do it in real life like you do it in video game. Doing stuff with the two swords, even if you're not fighting with the two, sometimes it helps to just shorten time through the flow exercises. Because this, I mean, I can do this with just one. And then of course, the battery died. So this video is going to be split into a little bit. So, as I was saying, it doesn't really matter how you do it. Two hands sometimes just help you to do the flow exercises or feel the flow better, but they also might be very distracting because you kind of have that extra. But practicing at least with the one hand through the circles, the circular roll movements, the thrust, right, is also very helpful because it helps you to kind of have that notion of what you can do with one hand. Because even if your left one, for example, doesn't behave very well, right, it doesn't mean it completely useless hand. You just use it for the only certain type of strikes, and sometimes it could be very interesting to just swap hands. You know, do a strike, raise, change hands, strike, one hand, strike, another hand, swipe, two hands, thrust. A bunch of those. So, and don't forget about also training, like I say, you know, you do your retreats, so make sure that you block. I mean, it's not fashionable. No, it's not fashionable to block in a certain areas, but it's good to know how to do it. It's good to know how to create projection that actually will cause you from external attack. I mean, yes, zombies will not attack you with a sword, but other survivors might. So be mindful of your colleagues. And if you feel super fancy with the flows, right, you can teach yourself rotations. You can do that with the scabbard in your left hand, so it doesn't really have to be a sword. Scabbard, you also might want to do this, right, you don't need a sword, but easiest things to remember is to hold in the same way. And then if you feel super magical, you can do those. These rotations. Some people like them. They're good for shows, but there's not much of a value in them, to be honest. In real scenario. You're better off learning how to do thrusts. Use the butted hand. And all this other stuff. So anyway, I think I'll wrap up for today. Work kind of waiting for me. So that was my somewhat lunch. So thank you very much. Thank you for watching, and shoot me suggestions. And I mean, I know the voice and the sounds are still need to be sorted out, but trying my best with what I've got. So anyway, shoot me your suggestions, shoot me your comments. see how it goes, right? Things like that. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Stay healthy in quarantine. I know that some places starting to open. Just be careful.